Okay. Hello there, YouTube. And well, I don't know like if anybody but my patrons are watching, but if so, thank you for coming. I'm Marie, also known as Leslie's or the Lesbian Lizard, and I do make like, well, indie games and then occasionally stream on YouTube. Trying to do that a bit more. Oh, hello. I'll see if I can figure out how to do the chatting properly. Last time when I was streaming, like I did check the save the chat thingy, the chat replay, but somehow YouTube still didn't do it, so I'm trying to figure out how to make the chat work then. Let's see. Not quite. But yeah, while I'm tinkering with this thing, I'm streaming this time the making of my Rainbow Jam game, which is, well, weird metroidvania kind of a game where you control a pink blob that can learn to take shapes of other things. Okay, I guess I just need to change the order of the things and maybe this will work then. Okay, hopefully this works. So well, I guess for starters I could well open the game. Oh, and is the audio level and everything like fine? I guess the music might be a little bit loud. So well, it's basically this kind of a game. I'll just unlock like all the abilities. Yeah, I was like thinking like originally the game had the well smooth kind of shading thing, but it didn't really feel right with the tiles being like single color. So I was thinking of like, well, some kind of an effect that would be retro kind, and then I remember that, oh yeah, there is this dithering thing that should be doable in the shader. Basically you can, well, in the final game you can find the transformations on the world, or the elevators won't also work automatically. Well, the character is pretty huge. I kind of wanted to make it like easy to see. But yeah, these areas are undeveloped, and I'm probably going to like develop the area to the right from here next. Ooh. So like this area, which is well also undeveloped for now. But yeah, basically there are like 4 transformations, and one of them can't be found from the world at the moment, and the other one does have like its spot on the map, but it hasn't been coded yet. Yeah, the transformations are hand drawn, but it was actually easier than I expected with the art style. Like you don't need to care about anything but the shape, so you can just basically put the like different shapes like next to each other and then try to come up with some kind of approximation. But well, let's see. I'll move the spawn point of the player so it will be easier to test. So let's see. Basically I want like 2 buildings on this area, and well, it will be like a grassy place. So I'll paint it green for now. Something like this, and then I guess I'll test by placing the building like over here. Maybe I actually want to make the building like these bars are like the transitions of the map. I'm using like my own engine, but well, it's a 2D game, so well, not like any kind of awesome technology really. And the level editor is a free tool called Tiled. I'd imagine it could probably be used with other engines, like I'd expect there to be plugins for Unity or whatever, because it's a really handy editor. And well, free is always a bonus when you're indie with a limited budget. And this is probably too wide. Maybe I want to do like something like give the house like windows or something, and then like one of the windows would be broken and you could go inside from there. Or maybe also like something like add chimneys to the buildings and then like make the player able to go from them inside the buildings too, depending on like which of the transformations you have learned. You could use like different routes. Like that is basically what I would consider like, well, ideal design for metroidvania. Well, let's see. Like so far I have been trying to design the map so that you can kind of play the game from start to finish without actually picking up any of the transformations, if you know like the secret move for the blob. But it will be like super difficult compared to just learning the shapes, or like I'd like to do like some kind of environmental storytelling, and like how like the ending changes depending on like what shapes you have learned. But well, that depends on like whether I will have time. Like that is always the always the question with game jams. I'll just add some kind of placeholder background. Then maybe I'll erase like this window and make some kind of trees or something. Yeah, it is really difficult. Like even like the big studios that have been in the business for forever mess up with the time management and schedules and everything. Well, think like Cyberpunk or something. Yep, definitely difficult. And like with a game jam. Yep. And like with like a game jam, well, there is a hard time limit, so if you miss it, you kind of fail the jam, even though, well, nice jams like the rainbow jam do allow you to submit late too. And well, then there are like the game jams that are like 1 or 2 days long. No way I would be able to finish anything for a jam like that. I always have this thing that, well, anything I make will be like way too huge, like this, even like this game. Luckily the art style is like so bare minimum that I will probably be able to finish the map, but it is pretty huge for a game jam map, I guess. Oh, it's in the background layer. Well, no wonder it doesn't work. Okay, now it's on the right layer. I'll try to like make some kind of a tree and balance it so that you can jump on top of it with the bunny shape. Move the player over here or something, and then give it a try like how it seems now. There we go. Like the art pipeline I have is kind of like when you like start the game, you can tell the build system to like build all the art, and then like, well, basically you can start with the game with one command and have like the new level and everything. I guess I'll need to make the pump like 2 tiles higher. Oh yeah, I get. Yeah, it is like really tempting to like add all kind of fancy things, and like honestly, like the ideas might even be super good and make the game better, but it is really difficult to balance like what is worth adding and what is like feasible. Sometimes it is like really difficult to even tell whether the feature or whatever is is feasible or not, like whether it will take a long time to make or not. I guess most of the time you probably have the idea, but sometimes like some features actually turn out tricky. Like the shading effect, the dithering actually did take like 3 hours something to code. Well, I guess it is still worth it because I can then do with these really bare bone graphics because the shading makes the game look a little bit nicer. Maybe I'll do like something like this and then like drill a hole over here, and like if you don't have the bunny shape, then you can go through the hole instead, something like that. Now the bunny should be able to reach the top of the tree. Then like maybe I can do some kind of like different setting for the bird shape. I guess I'll need to somehow adjust the height of the tree, because now it seems like you're floating on the air when the room changes. Oh, and the cat can actually also use this. That's nice. Then like you can go inside the house. Maybe I should make like the house a little bit less tall, like that might be the solution. Or then like taller, I guess that is also a solution. Maybe like taller would be better, like then there would be one room per screen, which might feel nice. Let's see. Would it be like nice to... Well, grid is probably just this kind of grid, so it might actually be helpful to see. Would it be nice to be able to like specify different kind of grid with like thicker lines that would be the size of the rooms, but I guess it would be tricky to set up because the map doesn't actually like start from the edge of the room. Like there is this extra space, because if you go like past this line, the game will teleport the character to the other side. So there is like tricky stuff like that. So if I would be able to specify like a second grid, I would have to be able to specify the offset too. Okay, let's see. Basically, I'll just move this like a little bit up. Something like this. Then make the floor a little bit thicker. Then I guess I should probably make it... or maybe not, like I could make like the slanting kind of roof for the building. Then it would work even if the second floor was like of different height. But yeah, Like this is more or less like how my development is. Like most of the gameplay things are already there, so it's now mainly just editing the levels, and then there will be like some events and stuff if I have time, like code them, and then the rest is all extra stuff. Like after participating for a couple of years, like my approach to this kind of game jam has become more or less that I try to come up with like the minimal set of features that make the game viable, and then like develop those first. So basically in this game, the movement and the map, and like if I somehow got stuck or something happened that made me like unable to work enough on the game, then I could just ship a game without a story, but it would still kind of work. Well, obviously you kind of want to make like all the bells and whistles and ship them too. Sometimes it might be tricky. Oh, I might have actually painted on the wrong layer again. Well, yep. Well, I can probably actually use this to just select the wrong things. Yep, that's better. Then like I need to come up with some kind of way to get to the roof from the other side, but well, I guess I'll try to get the basic shape of the area done. Like in terms of like lore, it would be nice to have like a second building on the area. Like there is kind of like a background story to the game, and the game tries to tell it with the level design, but there like basically like the first idea I had about this game was like recently I have been making so many games with a lot of text, so I was thinking like, could I make a game that doesn't actually have like any text, and like if I could still tell a story that way. I don't know like if there will be actually like a whole lot of story in the end. It is kind of tricky to tell it, but I have some ideas. Might just take a little bit too much time for the game jam, even though well there is still like over a week left, I guess, but well, gotta keep it simple somehow. Like ideally find some kind of ways to tell the story that are easy to do. I guess like one problem with this level design will be that if you somehow fall over here, then you will be done for. So I had to come up with some kind of way to either stop the player from falling or maybe just like make a door here. Then you could use the door and climb there and then get out of the building. Might be a way to do it. Yeah, visual storytelling, it takes a little bit to wrap your head around it after like doing a ton of text-based storytelling. I'm kind of still struggling with it. It's well like this game because, well, the resolution of the graphics is so low that like there isn't that much you can do with them. You can kind of try to model like the things that exist in the world with the blocky graphics, and then hope that the player can read between the lines like what the things are. But even in 3D games, well, I guess especially in 3D games, like the problem will be that you will need like a ton of graphical assets to make the game, then like to tell the story. Text is relatively easy to make, but 3D graphics are really hard to make, so can be pretty tricky. With 2D games it's not like that bad. Like with 2D games it's probably more about how you can, well, make the world feel real to begin with. Like you need to make like some kind of compromises because, well, real world isn't flat like that. Yeah, I did give like 3D games a try at one point, and well, it was easy enough to a certain point, but especially like the levels and such, like they are a ton of work in like some weird way. Like there are some things that are actually easier in 3D than with 2D graphics. For example, character animations. So like last year when I made Whipping My Maid, I was actually testing like whether I could do the character animations in 3D and the map in 2D, and it is kind of doable actually. Like back then when I was like researching it, there was actually like a game that had done it, a game called Dead Cells, and I kind of took the idea from there, although a little bit different implementation, but basically the same idea. Like basically the problem with pixel art is that it is pretty much like impossible to like modify the graphics in like some bigger sim. Like for example, if you decided, okay, this design of the character needs like this little extra thing, then you will have to go through like every frame and add like the detail to them, because well, that's how 2D graphics work. In 3D you can just modify the base model. Also, like in 3D, like if you do the pixel art in 3D for the characters, like the resolution of the characters on the screen is so low that, well, you need to only make like really low polygon versions of the models. So I kind of liked that workflow. At least, like, to me, like, animating the 3D characters isn't actually that difficult. Like getting the setup done and then like making the 3D models, like that takes quite a bit of work, but after you have the animation creation setup and the model, it is pretty easy to add like new models, new animations for the model. But it depends like on a game, like whether it's worthwhile. Like for this game, for example, like the 2D animations are actually simple enough to make. So like making, and well, especially because the character can like morph, like that is like the pretty much the worst case for 3D graphics. 3D graphics are good with things that are predictable in shape, and the character of this game definitely isn't. So not the best thing for this, for the 3D, well, fake pixel art with 3D kind of setup. Yeah, this is how I'm doing environmental storytelling basically. I just, for now, just adding like assets and trying to make it look like something that seems like familiar to the player. Actually, like one problem with the design is the chimney. So I guess this building doesn't really need a chimney, because if you can get to the roof, you can get inside the building anyway. So I guess it's fine to just leave it to the other building. Try to be smarter with the design of the other building so that the chimney actually makes sense. Oh, well, would be boring anyway if the buildings were like carbon copies of each other. Probably add something like this and then Oh, I should have added that to the foreground layer. Now add the counterpart, and then that will be a fancy lamp. Then I'll copy the lamp object. Like the way the game basically works is that when I compile the map into the format the game uses, it saves like this. Well, they are called objects in tiled. It saves them, and then when the game loads the map, it like takes a look at like these variables, and then like determines what it spawns on the map. So like in this case, well, it would spawn a light that has this panel shape, and then it will make it trigger, well, with the forest biome event basically. Like this. And I'll copy like this event block thingy. I'll just place it here or something for now. Put the player over there. Let's see if I messed up anything or if it will work. And yeah, like the hard part of making this kind of metroidvania games is that you ideally want to make it like non-linear. I'll give the player this charge thingy so it can trigger the event block. And then I will give the player all the morphs. And go to the upstairs, and then like when you use the event block, the lights of the level will turn on. I probably want like or maybe like a light over here too. And well, then maybe like over here on the ceiling. Yeah, the mechanics are pretty simple in the end, but hopefully the game will be fun with them. I'll try to move the sofa thingy. Then I can make like I used the wrong layer again. Oh, it's like really blocky, but that's how this game is. Maybe something like that. Then move the sofa a little bit closer. Yeah, I should have probably like prepared some kind of ranting material for the stream, but well, it was kind of was just a couple of hours ago, like, well, maybe I will stream this. I basically need to like, well, prepare the talk material in advance if I want to talk all the time, because, well, honestly, I don't have that great like talking skills. Would probably help if I had like more interesting life, but no, it's basically just game development and then eating and sleeping and sometimes seeing friends and sometimes being gay, and that's more or less it. Not like super interesting talking things normally. Like recently, like, well, in terms of real life, like I have been a little bit gotten like a little bit interested into cooking. Like there was like some Japanese video maker like made like a Minecraft video about tofu, and like every day like the streamer would cook something out of tofu, and like some of the recipes were like really good. Like even like just like if you prepare tofu in the most basic way on a frying pan and fry it long enough, like, well, it is good, but there are like surprising ways to make it better. So far my favorite is just like, well, cut the tofu into like flat slices and then, well, dry it a little bit and then put flour on both sides of the tofu and then fry it on the frying pan. And like after it is like, well, really well fried, then you just pour like soy sauce on it, and somehow like that makes the tofu really good, which is interesting because it isn't that much harder to make and it is basically the same price. It's kind of like it's almost like double the yummy of the plain tofu. So like all my life is little innovations like that. Oh yeah, and though little that it matters, I'm vegan, so that's basically the interest in tofu recipes. And kind of anyways about the Japanese though, like based on the videos, like tofu is way cheaper over there than here in Finland. Like here in Finland it's almost like meat is the same price as tofu, which is really weird because tofu is like, well, in a way like cows and pigs and stuff like that eat tofu more or less. Well, soybeans basically, which is kind of what tofu is. So you would think that tofu would be cheaper than meat, but like way cheaper, but somehow it isn't. Probably like the supply and demand things. But still, like when you watch the videos and you're like wait a minute, how can like this big tofu block be that cheap? Well, I guess it is like, well, tofu is like a relatively new thing in Finland, but in Japan it is like traditional food more or less. Like there are like actual dishes that use tofu by default, and in Finland it's like, well, you only use tofu when you're vegan. Although to be fair, like tofu is probably like the harder vegan thing to learn to use, because it takes like specific kind of cooking skills, or well, learn to cook it in the right way to actually make it taste good. Otherwise it will be like, well, it is like a block that doesn't really taste of anything. Well, that would be a really big glass if made like that. Well, I could use this, but I won't, because that would be cheating. Like the tile map is like really huge, but in the end, like I only use like this kind of area of it. Like in the beginning I didn't know like what the graphical style would be like, so I would make like a big tile map that, well, at least this will be big enough, like no matter what. Then I'm making like the placeholder map with the blocky things, and I'm like, wait a minute, actually I could just make this all with these blocky things and it would kind of work. It's honestly like it is probably the best to make it with the blocky things, because otherwise no way I could make like this big of a map in 1 week and some change. But yeah, I don't know like whether it makes sense to stream this much longer, because it's honestly going to be like this kind of stuff for the next several hours, because that's how development just is. And well, I guess it has been like, oh, not quite an hour already, so I guess it is like a decent peek into what I'm doing. Maybe I'll do like a second stream next week when I have like hopefully like all the map, like the whole map done. Oh yeah, no, I will try to do like a preview version of the game for my patrons, so patrons stay tuned on Discord for that. I'll try to make it by the end of the week. Nothing like super fancy, but yeah, I always forget about the breaks thing. I did this time around. I did remember to drink at least once, unlike the last time. So it's, well, minimal progress, but still progress. But yeah, I guess like I will probably just call it a day at this point, and like see you again next week or something like that. Is, oh, decent break, I guess. But anyway, thank you for coming, and thank you for all the comments. I really appreciate it. Way more fun to work on the game when you can chat with people every once in a while. But yep, I guess that is it for today. So thank you for the support, and see you